Hello everyone, I hope you are doing great. Welcome to my YouTube channel Value for Dynamics. I hope you had a chance to watch my previous video on assembly order. If not, I suggest you to watch it first to get it a better understanding. This is my fourth video on assembly order module series. In previous session we have already learned how to create assembly order for assembly to a stock item, undo assembly order, how to add modify BOM item as well as resource. What are the different type of resource uses like fixed and direct? So in today's session we are going to discuss about assembly to order item, that is not a assembly to a stock. This is basically based on the setup where we can create the assembly order directly from the sales order, which is the demand by the customer. Also we understand the differences between assembly to a stock and assembly to order, and posting of the assembly order and undo shipment and recreate the assembly order and post that. So let's start with the business central, and these are the topics which we will cover during our discussion. So I am also very excited to see the new logo of business center. So how we can see that right now my role center is open, so if I need to refresh the business center, we can see the new logo of Microsoft. So see, this is the logo of new Microsoft. Now let's jump into the items. What are the new setups needed for the assembly to a stock? So for that I have already created the item and do the setup, but we are going through that one by one. So ATO and 001, that is the first. If you can see that assembly BOM here defined. So what are the key setup is needed for the ATO assembly to order? That is basically we in first session we have already discussed what are the uh, types of the assembly policies. So there are two types. So one is the assembly to a stock, another is assembly to order. So this is the assembly to order. Just this is the major difference. Rest other are like a same as it is the assembly to a stock. And I have already defined two BOMs here. BOM item. One is the packing and another is the resource. And now in today's session we have going to add new item from the assembly order. So let's begin, and also we can understand what are the differences. So assembly to order basically helpful when we are creating a sales order for this item, and parallelly system will create assembly order. So let's create the sales order. So for the sales order I need to go here and see, click over new, then normal sales order. We are creating same process we have to do here, and rest other things will come here, right? If you can see here the posting is that is the different. So I am just deleting this for the better understanding and changing the settings, that is the today's work date, and then again I am creating the new sales order, and here I am taking the customer, and rest other details will automatically pop up into the header part. I am going to choose the as usual the defined location, normal location, that is the east location, and then we can first understand what are the differences when we are going to create the ATOs and ATS item. So first take a ATO item, ATO, that is the item I have already created. So this is the assembly item, and see, once I will define the quantity, system will automatically in the background create the assembly order. So we can see that what are the assembly order has been created. So taking here the 5 quantity, and see, system is just showing there the due date and the work date, and same parallelly system has created the assembly order. So click OK and see, after defining the quantity to assembly order automatically updated. So let's put here the amount, that is the around um, I am putting 5 quantity unit price, that is the 17.5, and then code. Now we how we can see the uh, assembly order. So for that we have to go into the line, then related information, and then assembly order, and you can click over the assembly to order line, and you can see that there is the resource has, and whatever the component we have defined for this particular item, system is showing here. If you want to see the whole document of the assembly order, just we have to click over the show documents, and you can see that the header and the assembly line component item is showing here. And major differences, though we have already discussed earlier, you can see that assembly to order here defined as a S. That means this order has been created from the sales order. Now from assembly to sales order, how we can track that? Suppose in case after the creating assembly, guys have to responsible for to check the assembly component item whether it's available or not. So he can check which order is that, how we can track into the through the system. So order, and there the order tracking, and you can see what are the sales order is created. So this is the tracking, as well as in the case of the ATO when we are creating the item. Now we can learn what will happen in case of uh, ATO, sorry, ATS. So let me delete that. So some people are asking, can we create the assembly order if assembly policies is ATS? Yes, we can create. And here if I can go from the item line, this is the already created assembly to stock item, and see, if I will define the quantity here, quantity to assembly, quantity to assemble to order is not automatically coming, but this item is their replacement system is assembly. So if I want to create the assembly order from here, I just have to mention the quantity, how many quantity of assembly order I want. So suppose that if I am defining here 2, system will resynchronize and created the assembly order. So let's see what assembly order is created. So for the same process, same steps we have to follow. Go into the assembly and see the assembly component is totally different. And if I will go into the show documents, here also you can see that. Now if I go into the main item, we can see that the assembly policy is assembly to stock. right? So this is the basic difference, how we can track that and how we can create the assembly order from the sales order line if replenishment system is assembly and there is the assembly policies is either assembly to stock, assembly to order. Now let me delete that, and in today's session we have to understand what are the impact, what are the things is required. So ATO 001, oh sorry, ATO 001, and then creating of three quantities, and see now 17 and no, and total amount is showing over here. Now assembly order is created. Now I have to release it, and then let's try to post the assembly order. Here is one tricky part. In case of assembly order which is created from the sales order, you cannot post it from the assembly order page. So see, if I will go here and see that post action is disabled. Even if I will try to do the preview posting, see what system is saying. Assembly to order must be equal to no. That means we cannot also see the preview posting. Now this is the component item. Can we add the more component item during the assembly item? So yes, we can. For that we can go into the assembly worm as like earlier. Here I am taking the item. I have already created ATO item 002, and here we can understand that the variant code, different variant code, same item I have a two variant, and I am putting here the one, and then item ATO, and here I am putting that two quantity, right? This is the basically all the component item for this assembly order. Let me go back and refresh as we earlier do that. Same you have to do the refresh line, right? A status must be equal to open. So why it's a release? Because this assembly order cannot be posted from the assembly order page, that is automatically posted from the when we are doing the shipment from the sales order. System will automatically close the assembly order when it's fully assembled, quantity to assemble. So first we need to reopen it and then refresh the line. This assembly order may have a customized line. Are you sure that you want to reset the line according to the assembly? Yes. And then you can see that all the new added assembly component item is on the line part. Now I have to release it again, and rest other part I am keeping as it is. Let me go back and let me do the posting. So once we have defined the quantity, reserve quantity is showing, also quantity to ship is here, quantity to, suppose I want to do the partial assembly, I just have to specify here the true quantity, right? And then because this item is lot item, so I have to go here and then item tracking and then create the assign lot. Okay, quantity base is 1 3, and suppose I have to do two quantities, so we have to do here. System will show some warning, so just ignore that. You cannot state item tracking on demand when it's linked to the supply by binding order to order. Okay, let me post it. You must assign the lot number for the item 001, right? Means we cannot assign the lot from the sales order line, right? So for that we have to go into the assembly and here quantity to assemble is already showing, so we have go to the item tracking, then create the lot and to quantity 2 is automatically come here, then we are good. Okay, and then post it. System now allow to post it. Now see, quantity is already posted. How we can track that? Go into the shipment and see that. So we just see that what are the differences of the assembly order which is created from the sales order, and in the both case ATO and ATS item. So now we can do the undo shipment and undo assembly. So for here, if I will go and then see two item is created over, just going to do the undo shipment, right? And see the assembly order. 3 quantity and 3 quantity are already showing. If I will go here and tracking the related history entries and posted assembly order, see this assembly order has been already reverse. Specify the posted assembly has been undo. Here the boolean is showing that it's get undo, right? Now something is required to change, then we need to change. Now let me do the 3 quantity and 3 quantities, again 2 quantity or maybe 3 quantity based on the requirement. I'm going into the assembly order again, and what I will do, I will go and see the item tracking. Item tracking is still showing. If I need to change it, I can change it. If I don't need to change it, suppose that one item also need to do create, so I just create the new lot number here, one quantity also here, then okay. Now go back and let me ship it.